Well, ladies and gentlemen, the big EA hype train for the next Battlefield game's release is starting today. Battlefield tweeted earlier today that you should tune in for more on the upcoming Battlefield community testing program, which they alluded to earlier this year. And now today at 8 a.m. PDT or 11 a.m. EST, we'll be able to see what they talk about. And maybe if you watch this video, you'll be able to tell me in the comment section your thoughts about it if it has already happened. I will be streaming my live reaction to these events, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my Twitch stream, first link in the description. But we have a lot to talk about in this video because this is the first big event pertaining to the next Battlefield, so I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. I will start with the big elephant in the room, which is this post talking about more upcoming information on the Battlefield community testing program. Like I said, they alluded to this earlier this year, and this is most likely the return of the Battlefield CTE program from Battlefield 4. Now keep in mind, I'm recording this the night before everything gets revealed, so if I am wrong, please don't roast me in the comments section. I will definitely make another video tomorrow going over my thoughts on what they actually announced. But more than likely, it will be some sort of community test environment like we saw in Battlefield 4. If that does turn out to be the case, and if this turns out to be a long-running program that extends the entire life of the next Battlefield game, that is some of the best news that I think they could possibly deliver ever about the next Battlefield game. I think that would be so good that I can't even put it into words. Particularly if they actually listen to feedback, but that's always the problem, right? They talk big talk all the time, but the follow-through has always been the issue. So I hope to see some big follow-through this time around, as I think a lot of you want to see that as well. Now, coinciding with this post announcing this big event that they're going to be holding today, they did show us a new piece of concept art, and it still just has Battlefield plastered across the center of it. There's some speculation that they may reveal the title of the next Battlefield game tomorrow. Perhaps, I have no idea. People are speculating right now that it's probably just called Battlefield, but we don't know for sure yet. Taking a closer look at the concept art here, you can see front and center there is some sort of Abrams tank, which is definitely nostalgic, at least for me in Battlefield. Seeing that in Battlefield 3 was really, really cool. And the map in the background, it sort of reminds me of some Battlefield 3 style maps, and in general, the entire concept art that we've been shown for this next Battlefield game so far has been grittier, more grounded, and absolutely, in my opinion, more in line with what people would like to see from the next Battlefield game. However, we still have to see, what happens. So that's pretty much it for that post, but I did want to address this. So because of this closed playtest or whatever playtest they're going to be announced, and because I had a very brief interaction with DICE's lead producer, Tigger, David Serland, he came into my stream and we had a brief conversation and we replied back and forth on Twitter a few times. If you missed that video recapping that, I'll link it in the description. But basically I talked to Battlefield's lead producer, and because of what David Serland said to me on Twitter, people are speculating that I have already been invited to playtest the next Battlefield, or that I will have the opportunity to. I just want to put that to rest right now. Hell will freeze over before I am personally invited to playtest any Battlefield game, guys. I really do appreciate you guys sort of wanting to see me be able to have that opportunity, but like I said, there's a better chance of hell freezing over. Just going to be 100% honest, and I don't expect to ever be invited to anything Battlefield related for as long as I make content. But again, I really do want to say that I appreciate the kind sentiment from some of you being excited for me potentially being able to do that, or you guys wanting me to be able to do that. So I appreciate that. But we're going to switch gears here a little bit to talking about my general thoughts going in to this start of the next Battlefield's hype cycle, okay? Obviously coming off of Battlefield 2042, and then obviously coming off of Battlefield 5 before that, this game has a lot of people indifferent before they even see anything. The combination of BF5's bad launch rolling into 2042's even worse launch has a lot of people understandably just completely dejected and uninterested in what is happening with the next Battlefield game. You see this sentiment all over the place on Reddit, Twitter, in the YouTube comment section. People are done and fed up, and the only possible thing that will win them back is they get their hands on the game and they see for themselves that DICE has finally delivered something that is worthy of being called Battlefield. And in my view, they have a grand total of 0 excuses this time around. Absolutely no excuses. They have all the studios, they have all the feedback, they have every single thing going for them. Call of Duty's terrible, Apex Legends is dying, the finals isn't really that relevant anymore. You know, the entire world, it seems, wants Battlefield to succeed. I have seen more people clamoring for a new Battlefield title ever since Delta Force released because, you know, in their eyes, Delta Force is only a game that bridges the gap between the end of 2042 and the potential release of Battlefield at the end of this year. On paper, this Battlefield is, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I genuinely believe it's true. This Battlefield should be the easiest Battlefield release of all time. That it really should be. There's no excuses. They have a super, super easy setting, which they did decide to go with. This sort of near future. I think they said the game was set in 2028. This sort of near future approach. We see the Abrams in the background. We see the grittier concept art. They're talking big talk with returning to the roots and getting rid of specialists and getting rid of the things that made 2042 bad, like 128 players. EA hired a bunch of hotshots to come in and deliver EA a Battlefield game that doesn't fizzle out within 2 weeks. Because that's what EA wants, right? EA wants money. EA wants massive global success. EA is absolutely jealous of Call of Duty, as the ex-DICE developer told us just over a week ago in his big B-Sky social tirade. I'll also link that video in the description. But the problem is the same massive question always looms over the Battlefield franchise when it comes to EA and DICE and how things are handled, and it is the question of, okay, this all sounds great, but can you actually deliver? Okay, can you deliver upon these promises? Can you deliver adequate content? Can you actually recover the franchise? Because make no mistake, this is it, right? Like, you don't get any other chances after this, in my opinion. This is by far the best window to do it in. You have every single thing going for you. And like I said multiple times, there's just no excuse. And I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but at this point, sort of talking about this game is already getting exhausting because we've been talking about this same stuff during the build-ups of Battlefield 5 and with Battlefield 2042 as well, and now we're doing it again with this game. And that's the problem, right? It's always the same stuff. DICE just cannot seem to deliver a Battlefield game worth a shit since 2016. Guys, I don't want to alarm you, but if this next Battlefield game flops, Battlefield 1 was the last decent Battlefield game, and that game released like a decade ago. So, yeah. Ultimately, going into this next Battlefield game, for me personally, I'm trying to remain as indifferent as possible. Because again, it just is exhausting. I would love to be allowed to get excited for this game. I would love nothing more than to play the game for the first time and record a YouTube video and absolutely gush over it. But it's you can't hope for that anymore because of their track record, right? It's too risky to get that invested in it. So I'm just going to try my best to just stay as indifferent as possible, right? Just deliver you guys my honest thoughts as I always have. And past that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not worried about it because guess what? It's not in my hands. It's in the hands of whoever's controlling Battlefield. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. This is a very interesting time to be a Battlefield fan. We are going to watch the next Battlefield game unfold in front of our very eyes over the next coming months. I assume we will see some sort of reveal trailer sometime in May, maybe June. That's when they typically do stuff like that, unless they surprise us. Some people are claiming they may have some gameplay for us tomorrow. I would say that would be very, very interesting. It's definitely too early for gameplay, in my opinion, but I could see EA taking the shock value route, right? Just trying to impress us right out of the gate with the next Battlefield game, quell some worries, if you will, with some earlier than normal hands-on gameplay, perhaps from the developers or something like that. I think it's very risky. I don't think we'll see it, but that is what some people are speculating will happen on Reddit. But I'm yapping, I like to yap in these videos. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, if you plan on following me in the next Battlefield game and Delta Force, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'm going to be live reacting on stream to these Battlefield announcements when they happen, so be sure to follow the Twitch stream. I also multi-stream on YouTube, so on this very YouTube channel, I will be live at around 11 a.m. EST, because that is when these big Battlefield announcements are going to be taking place. So follow everything. All links are in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.